Hi everyone. So today is day 25 of the Day 30 challenge. And I do want to apologize upfront for the quality of the video. I don't feel like it's gonna be as planned as the other ones, but I'll try to give my best. It's just that for consistent reasons, I thought that I should still be doing, a video. And, for today, I came across an old video of Liz the Wizard, and I remembered that I started following her like 2 years ago when she was, I wouldn't say relatively unknown, but she wasn't as much in the news as she currently is. And I mean, she has a fair reason. She makes, apologies, she makes really engaging content, content where it's like, that's how you should live life, right? And so I just came across a video where she explains the difference between a consumer and a creator, right? And I've been thinking about it actually, but I didn't really trust myself to talk about it because I'm not a creator really. I'm more like experimenting with video creation, but I think it takes more than uploading videos to be a creator, right? So she was talking about how creators now are the backbone of the economy. So that's why we tend to call the social media era kind of like the creator economy, where specifically people who upload on social media on various platforms, they make big banks, like millions, billions even, if they like Jake Paul and they start investing into startups and all that stuff. Well, that's another video, like that's another topic. Anyways, and she was drawing the difference between creator and consumer. Now, consumer, as I think we all know, are those people who sit behind a screen and absorb essentially information that is not really relevant to them. That is social media content, not all of it, but let's assume like social media content where it's really just about the aesthetics of the creator or how they apply lipstick or how they apply, I don't know, a new wig or how they apply their new Dyson Airwrapper because it's so important to have one. So these like that is content that is really not relevant for your life. Like it's just what it is, right? If you tend to look into social media for like these clipped podcast things, that's a different story, fine. But again, you need to keep in mind that these podcast things are like podcast clips, they're, you know, taken out of context. Anyways, moral of the story, or like at least what I took out of the video, is that you should be aiming at creating more than you consume. Now, that is very hard to quantify, right? Because assume every day you're like 2 hours on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and you're consuming, let's say, rather not really educational insights, but you're consuming things. How much would you need to create to balance the consumption out? Doesn't make sense to say 2 hours, doesn't make sense to, quantify the creation process based on engagement, based on positive feedback. And this is something I've been struggling with actually, because also part of this challenge was to see, can I do videos? Because I was afraid of being seen, I'll be honest with you. Because I feel like I've read so much and I don't really have anyone to talk about what I've read and what I really think about. And so doing videos is like a natural response to me, mind you, 4 years after I like started reading a lot of books. I'd love to show you my library up there, but it's not tidy, it's not organized, so I'm not showing it to you. Um, so yeah, so that was my point. I mean, I'm thinking that you should, or like I want to aim to create as much as I need to balance out the negative effects that I get from social media. Because I catch myself also scrolling sometimes and it doesn't make me feel good. Like I have a few creators and they all produce long-term content. So I'd rather stick with that than to the social media content where they show off how much money they've made. It's kind of depressing, right? Like someone in your age bracket doing like millions a month, and you're like, Well, how do you do that? And that's why getting off social media is important because you don't get to compare yourself with someone else. And that's also blessing of the creator. A creator really is someone just dedicated to process, just envisioning ideas and then putting them out. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm reading things, I'm thinking about them, I may be structuring a bit in terms of how I want to present the ideas that I've discovered and I hope to be true for most parts. And I don't need to compare myself with like the best performing YouTube channels because my goal is not necessarily to be better than YouTube channel XYZ or better than creator XYZ. My challenge is just to be better and to spend more time creating than to consume. And this is really hard to do. Like, this is something that I've been struggling with. And ironically, you need to consume in order to create, but the consumption to create is always just more high quality in terms of educational insights that you get or like thought process that you catalyze with the consumption of things needed for creation. I mean, that's something I wanted to talk about actually tomorrow, but I've been designing a watch be because it's kind of the challenges that I wanted to do for 2026, and it's not 2026 yet, I know. But I thought creating even that sense of manufacturing, it's really satisfying if you give it a shot. And I know nothing of manufacturing, but it's so nice and I had so much fun today. And I do want to, put it up tomorrow in a different video. I think that's it. As you can kind of see, I'm a bit tired. It's 2 a.m. and it's so weird that I still wasn't able to do a video during the day. That is also one of my goals before the year ends to have a video where you can see the sun shining into my room. Um, yeah, but that's it. Otherwise, have a good night if you're watching this. And then see you tomorrow for day 26.